Requirement standard is 27,001. Guideline standard is 27,002, 27,003. The difference is requirement standard is the only one which can be audited and certified. So you can only certified, you cannot be certified on 27,000 naturally because it is a vocabulary standard. There is no way to certify for an index page, right? So requirement standard is the only one which states this is what you are supposed to do. It is a list of do's. Okay. So any certification audit process can verify whether it can, the practice is in conforming to particular requirement. This is my requirement. I'm checking it against this requirement and you are meeting the requirement, then you can be certified. So only a requirement standard can be certified. So if you are certified, meaning you are certifying for 27,001. You cannot be certified for 27,002 because 27,002 is a guideline. It is like how to do it, like this training, how you can implement 27,001, specifically the annexure controls alone. That is what is that 27,002 and 27,003. Okay, so 27,004 is the metrics alone, how well you can do the metrics or the different metrics you can use, how you can define the metrics. Requirement standard will not go into the details. The requirement standard will say metrics, one particular control. 9.1 is a metric. You should have metric. You should measure. You should document. You should assign responsibility. You should assign responsibility for analyzing it, and you should do analyzing it. That's all it will say in the requirement standard. Whereas it will be blown up in a guideline standard, how you can do metrics, how you can define metrics. If you're interested, you can go through the guideline standard, but they cannot be certified. You cannot get certification on guideline standard because they are the guide books. Okay, they are like explanation books. You cannot certify for an explanation book. And as I said, industry specific standards are telecom 27,011. Health sector, if you're in a hospital or you're processing healthcare data, then 27799. And there are few other sector specific. Okay, I haven't come across anywhere any requirement for even these two. So, but it is there. Okay, these are all some of the important 27,000 family standards. So starting with the most common, most important, that is what we are going to study the whole 4 days is 27,001, 27,001, 2022 version. Always there will be a colon and the version 2022 version. Okay, this is the requirement standard which state that this is what a company should do to get certified for 27,001. It will not say to get certified. This is what a company should do to ensure information security objective is achieved. So you can, someone can come and verify, audit, and give you the certification. Yes, I verified, and you are meeting. So requirement standard is 27,001, which is certifiable. 27,002 is a detailed guideline for the annexure controls alone. We will see what is annexure control. Annexure control, because they are the technical control, they are giving a guideline book in 27,002. I copied you, as I said, 27,002 also. We will see quickly the difference between 27,001 and 27,002. 27,001 will be very cryptic, just 2 lines. This is what you should do. Background verification means you should decide background verification based on your risk assessment and based on your nature of data being processed. You should define your background verification, and you should do background verification before an employee joins the organization. That's all it will say. Whereas 27,002 will go in depth what is meant by background verification, who will do background verification, how the background verification can be done, etc., etc. Those guidelines, this whatever we are going through the training itself is more on 27,002, you can say like that. But 27,002 is only on the annexure control. In the training, we will see both the framework control as well as annexure control. I'll tell you what is the difference between the two. Okay, so 27,000 is a generic implementation guideline, complete 27,001. That is what you can say this training. Okay, metrics alone 27,004. Risk assessment alone, blown up. How do you do information security risk? Again, there is one standard ISO. I think it is, do you remember? I think it is 30,000, which is a risk itself generic. How to do risk, how to do risk manage, how to do risk assessment is 30,000, if I remember. Okay, there is one for sure. There is a separate standard for risk assessment, but 27,005 is the risk assessment of information security risk. How to do the risk assessment, which is one class of 27,001, as they are giving it as a full standard 27,005, how to do a risk assessment. It will completely talk about how to go about doing risk assessment. 27,001 will only say what is required to be completed in a risk assessment. It will not tell how to do the risk assessment. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, 27,001 is the guidance on managing an information security managed audit. If you're doing an audit, this will be more useful for auditors. How to do the audit of ISMS is for 27,007. Okay. Then how to 27,008 is also audit. 27,007 is audit guidelines. 27,008 is specific to annexure control. How to check each annexure control practice. 17 is, though 17 is not a certifiable standard, people do, some certification bodies, they do 27,001 plus 27,017 or 18. They do like that. They also include 17 and 18. It is not independently certifiable. Okay. Only a requirement standard is certifiable. This is a code of practice for information stored in cloud. If you are storing your sensitive data, privacy data in the cloud, then 27,017 has certain additional controls which can be added to 27,001. It is not independently certifiable standard. It is an add-on. It is like a additional practice. Okay. Personal data, then it is 27,018. Certain additional personal controls are there. Okay. 27,701, the last one, is about privacy management. This is only information security management. If you see your privacy compliance requirements, like your GDPR, or now in India, you have the Digital Personal Data Protection Act. Okay, so these are all privacy management regulation requirement or privacy management. So privacy management, instead of, these are all regulatory requirement. GDPR will talk about you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to follow this, otherwise we will penalize you. That's what GDPR will tell. It will not tell about how to go about doing it. Whereas ISO has made it as a management system standard. So it says that if you have to follow privacy management, if you have to comply to privacy requirements, this is how you can go about doing it. So 27,701 is called a privacy information management system, PIMS. Okay, this is ISMS and this is PIMS. Now 27,701 also uses 27,001, meaning if you have to get certified for 27,701, it is an add-on on 27,000. You have to first practice 27,001 and then add additional requirements of 27,701 and get it certified. Okay. Clear a little bit, though you don't need to really know for ISMS training, you don't really need to know all this, but just an idea. You don't need to know 27,701, but just an idea. Okay. Correct usage. Many people say ISO 27,000, ISO 27,000 or ISO 27K. If you're saying that I'm certified for ISO 27,000, it's a very wrong statement, because as I said, you can't get certified just only for the terms and definitions, right? There is nothing to get certified for 27,000. It's a wrong use. Okay. When you come to compliance, everything has to be proper, pakka, right? That is how. So I say first place, anybody saying 27,000, 27,000, be very clear what you are talking about. Okay. So you cannot get certified for a terms and definitions. Okay. 27,001 ISO is also wrong because it is a jointly developed by two organizations. We have so far seen only about ISO, but the technical standards of ISO is jointly developed by two organizations. One is ISO and another one is IEC. So always it has to be quoted like ISO and IEC 27001, because if it is jointly owned by two organizations, you cannot discredit one organization. Okay, right practice is to say ISO, IEC, right? And of course, always you have to suffix it with which version. Because if you say I am certified for ISO, I practice 27001, I am implementing 27. Which one are you implementing? Are you implementing 27001 2013 or are you implementing 27001 2022? Be very clear. Even if you're saying I'm certified, I'm practicing, be very clear what is that you are practicing. Okay, there is a difference between 27,001 2013 and 27,001 2022. Okay, vocabulary in the standard, if you read the standard, whether it is any standard, ISO standard, it will say not necessarily 27. So this is also defined in 27,000 book. Okay, 0.3. Shall means it is a requirement. It is mandatory. Okay. Should indicate a recommendation. There is a little difference in terms of understanding shall and should. Shall means every organization should do it. Sorry, shall. Okay, shall means it is mandatory requirement. Should means it is a recommendation. Okay, may, you may do this means it is a permission. It is possible to do that. Okay. Can indicates a possibility or a capability. There is a difference between may and can. Okay. Can means possibility or a capability. Okay. Yeah, 27,002 is a code practice book, not a requirement book. Okay. Control objectives throughout the standard are generic high-level statement of business requirement for securing and protecting information assets in 27,001. Okay. Numerous information security controls recommended by the standard are meant to be implemented in the context of an ISMS in order to address blah, blah, blah. Okay. Compliance with the 27,002 implies that the organization has adopted a comprehensive good practice approach to securing information. Why I put this is, if you are being very, very over thing and you want to go through 27,000 and see how you can improve your very good idea, please do that. It is definitely a very good thing. But certification for 27,001 may not be required to follow 27,001 too completely. 27,002 is a best practice. Okay, it's not a requirement standard. So if you are gone through the 27,002, done everything what 27,002 states, it is not even a requirement. What 27,002 states, it is a high level of maturity. But even if you are not able to completely go as per 27,002, still you can be certified for 27,001. There is a difference. We will come to know when we take a particular control. We will see one control, both 27,001 and 27,002, we will see it. Then you will know the difference. But it is not mandatory to get certification. Okay. Right. Framework structure. Okay. First, there are two sets of, we will divide it into two sets. We can't even say two sets of control. The word framework is not used in the standard. It is a usage we have designed it to make you more understand the difference between a framework and an annexure. It is not the verbiage used in the standard. Maybe many people may not use it. They may ask, who told you framework? What is this framework, etc. It's just more for understanding perspective. I have coded it as a framework control and annexure control. Okay. Framework is nothing but it is the core, it is the base, it is the management system. This is what is common to all management system. How that particular objective can be made it as a practice in an organization, that is what is called framework. So we will first start with the framework. Framework always go with the PDCA cycle, plan, do, check and act. You had some questions also. Framework will be with 0 to 10. That is what is the framework. Okay. Annexure is annexure controls. Okay. That's how we will divide it into. 0 is introduction. 1 is the scope. 2 is the normative reference. Normative reference means nothing. Don't get afraid. If this standard takes reference links from other standard, then that will be included in the normative reference. So nothing to learn or nothing to practice about 0, 1, 2, 3. Practice starts from 4 only. Okay. So 4 to 10 is what is the practice. Okay. So terms and definitions specific to 27,001. Apart from terms and definitions in 27,000, specific to 27,002, sorry, 27,001, terms and definition will be 3. So these are all like a common information. There is nothing for practice. So all practice, even if you are getting implementing or you are getting audited, auditor will see only from 4 to 10. Auditor is not going to see 0, 1, 2, 3 because they are all just like introduction. If you do a report, the introduction portions are 0, 1, 2, 3. The actual report is from 4 to 10. Is what is the framework. Okay. And then followed by a series of annexure controls, which will be annexure controls. So that is how 4, 5, 6, 7 is about planning. How do you plan the management system itself? 8 is about how to implement the do. 9 is completely all 9, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9 about how to verify, check. It's called performance evaluation. How to verify that your management system is operating properly, which is audit, management review meeting, and metrics and measures. And 10 is about based on this verification result, how do you improve it? So that's all very nicely structured. That is the beauty of any management system. They have standardized it across all management, whether you do 9,001, 14,001, it is 0 to 10 is the same. Right? The structure is the same. Within the structure, how to do the planning for QMS, how to do the operation of QMS is different. How to do the planning for ISMS is different. But the structure is still 6 is planning, 8 is operation, 7 is support. You need to do context, you need to do leadership, you need to do plan, you need to support it, you need to do the operation, you need to do a performance evaluation, and you need to address the non-conformities and continually improve it. This is the same across all management system standards. Okay. You may have difference in each standard, management system standard, quality, information security, environmental, etc., in terms of how to do the planning and how to do the operation, etc. Otherwise, it is the same. So as I said, 2 sets, we will divide it into framework. It's actually not even a framework control, but anyway, you can take it like that. It is a 4 to 10 is the framework. All annexure has to start with A5 to A8, A5, A6, A7, A8. Only 4 sections in the annexure control. It will always have to be prefixed with A. If your reference numbers are very important in ISMS practice, whether you do implementing, audit, doesn't matter. You need to understand the classes. You need to refer it very properly. So don't put simple 5. It will refer to 5 only naturally. It will refer to the framework control 5. It will not refer to A5. If you are putting an annexure control, it has to be A5. What is the difference between framework control and annexure control? Framework control, as I said, 4 to 10 is to do with how do you plan, implement, verify it. It is for the management system. Whereas annexure control is the technical controls specific to that particular management system. So information security management specific like antivirus, patch management, log management, these are all cannot come in the framework control. They will all, this will be more the do's and don'ts. That will be in annexure control. Okay, that's all the difference. In 2022, there are a total of 93 annexure controls divided into four categories. Earlier, it used to be 114. Now it has become 93. It has become 93, but it has become bigger. I'll tell you how. Okay. Annexure controls are selected based on, meaning there is a little choice. Framework control is not even a control. It is no choice. It is a methodology. Okay, you have to do methodology. You can't skip it, right? Whereas annexure control, there is a choice. You can choose. You can choose certain annexure controls as not applicable, but it's again not like a yes or no tick. Oh, I want to do it. I don't want to do it. It has to be chosen based on what is the legal requirement for your organization. For example, if the legal requirement for an organization states that you have to do data masking for because you are handling privacy data, you cannot choose that as a not applicable. Okay, it has to be mandatorily based on legal requirement, contract requirement, best practice requirement for that particular business, and risk assessment. If it is a risk assessed for that control cannot be removed. Very nicely linked. I'll explain to you later. Okay. Annexure control includes of we'll see that. Don't worry. PDCA. This is what the PDCA cycle in a management system. First, the requirements and expectations from the stakeholders. That is the input for the whole cycle for the management system. Based on the requirement and expectation, you do the planning. After doing the planning, do the implementation. After implementation, keep checking it periodically, whatever that period you define. Keep checking it, see whether it's meeting, continuing to meeting or not meeting. Based on the check results, it's like a dip check, do a dip and check. And based on the check, whatever it turns out to be, act for whatever findings from the check. And the act again goes back to the planning again. It is not stop with that. That is what is the beauty of PDCA cycle. It is common for all management systems of ISO. Okay, not only for 27001. This is what is the PDCA cycle. Then at the end of the day, keep doing this. You are getting a beautiful, fully compliant, well managed information security management. That is what the PDCA cycle all about. Okay, this is what PDCA planning, implementing it. If risk, for example, planning the risk is what 6.1, that will be a plan. How to do the risk assessment, how to do the risk mitigation, what are the things, policies, procedures, that is planning stage. Doing a risk assessment periodically, whatever as per definition, that is 8.1, which is 8.2, sorry, 8.2, which is a do, part of do. Okay, 6 is planning, 8 is do. Then 9 is check it, and 10 is act on it, and then replanning it goes back to 6. It's a cycle, PDCA cycle. Okay. What is an information asset? It is a different conceptual understanding for those of you like Devi and all will know this very well. But it is a different definition. If you go to the 27,000, you will know that it is a different definition for an asset and an information asset. In 27,000, 27,001 or any 27,000 family of standard, if it is asset, you have to mentally say like find and replace asset with information asset. We are not talking about financial asset. The definition of financial asset is anything which has a financial value. Only if you buy, you capitalize it, you do it. Okay. Financial value is a financial asset. You replace here an information asset. Anything which has an information value to the organization is an information asset. For example, if there is an Excel sheet which has staff data of all your staff and their contact numbers, their salary details, etc., is maintained in an Excel sheet, it is an information asset. It has to be treated as an information asset. All the controls applicable for information asset will apply to that. It is an Excel data. It doesn't have a financial value. You cannot capitalize it. You cannot put it in your fixed asset register in your ERP system. Doesn't matter. It is an information asset as far as 27,000 is concerned. Okay, hope you know that it's a very big concept to be understood. So that's the way that your contract paper is an information asset. It doesn't have any. You cannot go to your finance team and say that this is a very important asset for me. Contract, please put it into your fixed asset register. They can't do it because their definition is it doesn't have a financial value. Okay, whereas our definition is it has an information value to the organization. Your database is an information asset. Okay, your Excel sheet with sensitive data is an information asset. You just scribble something, personal data in a piece of paper and put it into your pin board, that is an information asset. As far as I am concerned, as far as 27,000 is concerned, that is an information. It doesn't have any value. Nobody will, but indirectly it has a value, information value to the organization. That is why your voice recording, it has personal data, that is an asset, information asset. Your telephone system, these are all utilities which support an information asset container, that is also an asset. That is also an information. Your UPS generator, that's why they are also information, because your UPS is protecting your server which has an information asset. Okay, sensitive data. So your UPS is an asset. Your generator, they are all called utilities which are also brought into information asset. Okay. Even your IT administrator, some of you are IT administrators or CISO, CSO, they are all information assets because you have an information value to the organization. Simple. How do you check whether you are an information asset or not? Do you have an information value? Do you hold the passwords? Do you have a privileged password? Yes, you are an information asset. You have to be declared, defined, included in your information asset inventory. Fixed asset inventory is different. In many places, when you do the audit implementation, say, inventory is there. Yeah, inventory is there in your ERP. That is a different inventory. What I'm bothered about is a different inventory here. Okay, it has to be a separate inventory, which is the inventory of information asset, because every class, every control will apply to the information asset, not to the fixed asset. Okay, utility may not carry information, but still they are information because there is only deviation given. They support devices which carry information. Okay, information can be static or it can be transmitted. ISMS objectives to protect both static and transmitted also. Okay, always three aspects to an information security: confidentiality, integrity, availability. Most of you would know, but still I'll tell you, confidentiality is that property that information is made available only to those who need to know that. Okay, restricted access, that is what confidentiality. If your staff data is not supposed to have any meaning, no business for a security guard, it should be ensured that it is available only to the HR professionals. That is what is the confidentiality aspect of information security management. Three aspects are very important. These are three attributes, CIA attributes. Okay. It should be available only to Sandeep, then it should be available only to Sandeep. It should not be accessible by anyone else. Okay, that is what is confidentiality. Integrity means that data should not be tampered with. Nobody should be able to go, even though it is restricted to only Sandeep, he only has it. Should not be that someone is able to go and make a change in their salary, increase their salary by 20,000. That should not be allowed. That is what is integrity. Simple, very simple. Okay, cannot be changed unauthorized. Okay, availability is that information is required for processing salary on first of the month. It has to be available. And first of the month, you cannot say that, oh, that I'm not able to access the database. That database is down, that is got crashed or that got deleted. That is what the availability aspect. These three aspects are very important in ISMS. Okay. Event and incident. Event is the first stage. Okay, we'll see that about also later. I don't want to do overload. Little later also we can do that. Okay, the whole thing is a beautiful ISMS, which is, if you really look at it, you will start liking it. Otherwise, you will not like it also. Okay, is an approach based on a business risk. So risk is very important in ISO 27001. Based on business risk is an approach to establish first, meaning plan, implement, operate, monitor, review, which is what is the check, and maintain, so that you achieve information security protection in an organization. Okay. Information integrity, availability, we already discussed. So that's about model 1. First 27001 standard is 2005. And after 2005, the first change is 2013. So there is a third version of ISO 27000. After 2013, for 9 years, there has not been any change. This is the first time after 9 years, they're changing to 2022 version, the new version. Okay. So because it is 9 years, lot of incidentally, the last 9 years, significant changes in the industry trends and threat landscape of information security, cybersecurity. So naturally, there is a definite need push for change. In fact, we're all expecting that in 2018, there could be a new release, but they have postponed it. It took a lot of time to come out with the 2022 version. One minute, I'll just close the door. Okay, so they have changed, and I had a detailed look into that. We had a detailed look into that, a little bit of research into that. All the changes they have made in 2022 compared to 2013 makes very, very relevant, or all relevant changes. In fact, when we go through the annexure controls, I'll explain to you. I was expecting that some more changes could have been done. Okay, this is, I would even say that not sufficient. So these changes are very, very relevant because the industry has gone through 9 years has passed, and industry has gone through a lot of changes in terms of types of threats, new kinds of issues coming for information security, data protection. Data protection itself has come as a field requirement only in the last 9 years. Like in 2013, there was even GDPR was not there. GDPR was supposed to be the first data protection regulation, considerable focus. Okay, so that itself came in 2018 only. So 2013. So in 2013 version of 27001, there is no major controls with respect to privacy aspects or data protection aspects. Okay, so in 2022, they have included certain controls. So that is so the perspective change is very clearly seen in the standards book itself, that 2013, the top line, title line of 2013 is Information Technology Security Techniques, Information Security Management Systems Requirement. That is the title line. Now in 2022, they have changed it. It is not Information Technology Security Techniques. It is Information Security, Cyber Security, and Privacy Protection. The title itself gives us significance of the change. So they have included now more controls very specific to cyber security and privacy protection. Again, it is not that the complete privacy protection framework is brought into 27001. The essential privacy protection technical safeguards alone is brought into. Privacy protection is a completely different management science, and that is a different 27701. They will likely to expand it now. It is waiting for any time. In 2013, there is a new release going to come, 27701. But in 27001 itself, they have included certain cybersecurity and privacy protection. Specifically, technical safeguards of privacy protection is included. So that is what is the you see 27,000 in your standard, 27,000 in 2022. Okay, if you see the standard book, The title line of the standard book is Information Security, Cybersecurity and Privacy Protection, Information Security Systems for Information Security Management Systems Requirements. This is what is the title line. In the earlier 2013 version, it is Information Technology, Security Protection, blah, blah, whatever that is. So the name itself says the perspective, the reason they are looking at the change. Okay. Other perspective changes. It is removed code of practice. There is nothing like a code of practice. That terminology is not there. Similarly, control objectives have been removed in 27001. Now, there are no control objectives. Okay, it is only the requirements. Okay, category requirements. I'll come to that when we come to the annexure controls. Remember to ask me. Okay. New standard gives more attention because the idea is more than objective. They say this is the requirement. Just focus on the requirement. And the requirements have been categorized. Each requirement has been categorized under a particular category. A5, A6, A7, A8. That's all. There are only two stages now. A5 is policy procedures. A6 is A6 is HR, A7 is facilities, and A8 is the technical. And under the category, there is a requirement that 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. That's all. Earlier in 2013, it used to be domains, 14 domains, under 14 domain an objective, and an under objective as a requirement. 3 levels were there. That 3 level has been made into 2 level only now. Okay. New standard gives more attention to cybersecurity and privacy protection. The text has been aligned with the harmonized structure for management system standards and ISO 27002 2022, which 27002 came first and then 20001 came. So it is aligned and harmonized with that. Changes will make the standard more relevant and up to date with the latest security threats and technologies. All the 11 controls, we will see that. Okay. Important changes. Annexure control, I said in 2013, it used to be 14 different domains. It used to be like physical security, asset management, operation, information security operation, BCPDR, 14 different domains it used to be there. Now it has been rationalized and brought into 4 categories called organizational, people, physical, and technological. That's all. Just the categories, not the domain. Okay. So, meaning this alignment also is, I have seen it is very much aligned to something like a HIPAA. Those of you who know HIPAA, HIPAA is also aligned like organizational safeguards, people safeguard, physical safeguards, and technical safeguards. Okay. So it's more or less aligned to international categorization of controls. Okay. Total control has been reduced. Earlier it used to be 114 control. Now it has become 93 control. Having said that, it is only enhanced. It is not, that is the requirement or focus has been enhanced, but however, the number of controls has been reduced to 93. Nothing has been dropped from 2013. The same requirement is still there. And on top of it, 11 new controls have been added. It is only that the number is by the merging it, because earlier they said multiple controls refer to the same objective. So they have rationalized it, combined the controls and made it as a single control. Okay, that way they have reduced the number. Okay, there was a concentrated effort to avoid control redundancy. 24 controls in 22 version included merged controls from 2013. Redundancy in multiple domains, it used to be there. They have rationalized it.